For those of you who have donated, I want to thank you personally. And I've created a prayer list with your names on it that I keep in front of me when we channel. So blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get on with it. Peace to all beings. Oh, give me a moment. Sometimes it takes a while to get completely out. So give me a moment. We're shifting gears, so to speak. Layers. We always search for the highest communication possible. It's called jurisdiction. It's also called asking permission to enter, which you should always do when you travel, because you're traveling through sacred spaces. And you need permission from the entities that guard those spaces. Everyone now, this month of July 2017, feeling the heaviness approaching. And you're wondering where it is. Even in stores, people are talking about, quote, the energy's weird. Today feels strange. It's because you're becoming aware, or not in the physical sense, I mean aware, of another frequency. And the heaviness of that frequency is what has keeping the spiritual forces of mankind's dignity down. You're sensing it now, in the feeling portions. You don't know how to deal with it correctly in a manner of communication. You need to calm yourselves, peace to all beings, and ask for mercy from the presence. Because you're having presence. The presence is the invisible beings that are around you. There are those that want assistance in the magnificent adventure of identifying themselves, and there are those that want to interfere. In this process now, you're going to have to be aware of which side of your brain your thoughts are coming from. Left side or right side. That's why it's imperative that you meditate in this form with a lavender flame, uniting both halves of the brain, unions, called the union of self, which occurs from within. The disturbances that ones feel are those outside influences that are set or setting up to confuse one's exterior presence. When you look in your mirror, you see yourself in the human condition. Some of you can see the auric fields of yourselves. Some of you begin to understand the vertical nature of time, not the horizontal nature of time, the week to week to week thing. You're expanding in a direction that is termed everywhere present. Everywhere present. You're going to realize that your thought, if you think you are in a city in the middle of your country, and you think of a city on the coast, that feeling is there of it, even though you haven't been there. That's the expansion I'm talking of. Your auric fields are moving in a direction that is termed completion, we'll say. And in this manner of completion, a lot associated with death. But it's not that. And there's these strange forces that come forth for you to commit suicide. So for once, they say, don't do it. I am telling you, do not do it. Live your life in a consciousness that I am a life. You need to understand that portion critically. I am a life. And then you'll find you're unified with all life. The trees, the plants, the animals, the insects, all of nature. That's why nature is reacting so in a manner in your world. You have to understand that you are God's walking in a manner, yet not the God that presented the life to all ones to have the ability to walk, to think you're thinking. You feel more as you understand yourself, which entities has consumes you. And by that I mean the one ruling the root chakra, the navel chakra, the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, sixth seal, crown, and you have chakras above also. The chakras above want to descend in a manner, I will say. The force of it does want to descend into you, into this healing of the dignity of your spiritual progression. Those listening to this have lived a life of so many years. And you reflect back upon that life and you call the condition of sustenance, which is you, having made it through it. You're at this point now. So each of those experiences you had to this point now takes you to a level of understanding of what is you and what is not you, and the other presences that are around you. So you're going to have to understand your field of influence. And I don't mean your field influencing others. I'm talking about the field of influence that you're in and what's influencing you. And that's why we've mentioned to get Tibetan prayer wheel for simplicity of self, putting forth prayers simply. Because in the human condition, many, when they pray, seek selfish conditions. And that is not what the force of prayer is for. The force of prayer is for the acknowledgement of the life in all things, and the dignity of that life within all things, and the purposeful usefulness of that knowledge in assisting all things to in the continuity of life. Breath. So to understand breath, you will understand yourself. When you breathe, there's a thought that comes in with the breath, but you don't realize that. You sit in there thinking and breathing, but understanding the union of the two. So this is one of the keys to meditation. It slows you down in a manner so breath and thought unify. Now the unification of breath and thought should be from within, not from without. The within thought process of I am that I am, and the thankfulness for the breath, and you will accommodate yourself by others. You say understanding the union of those spiritual forces that are around you to assist you in the development of the identity of you, who you truly are. Not who you wish to be, but who you truly are in the experience of life. And when you begin to work this life, or the life, I will say, with your waters, which is where life comes from, by the way. It comes out of the water. And it's the breath of you that understands the water, because you're 75% water, literally, in the fluid condition. And water has this transformative quality. It can even alter your DNA with the proper thought. But you have these conditions of using outside words from others to influence you. We've mentioned Psalm 6 many, many times, purposefully. For those of you that understand the magic of life, you will understand the importance of Psalm 6. David knew it, Solomon knew it, and they're still utilizing it in your understanding. You don't understand the appearance of self, the ability of the body to transform, the ability of the body to be in one space at one time and another space at another time. Right now in your training paradigm, you call these things astral projection. But it's much more than that. And for the understanding of feeling the presence of one's and the notification, I should say, of the spiritual armies that are around you for your protection, and I'm talking about those of Saint Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, and each one has thousands of legions with them. And they're here for spatial protection. Spatial protection. Spatial protection. Spatial. That means what is around you and what you're perceiving as nature outside of you. And you're a unit of that. We're going to call it delicious consciousness, because there's a feeling of this bliss in there, and of knowledge of all things, acknowledging you and you acknowledging them. It's like sitting under a tree by a river with a deer in your lap, and a big buck behind you, guarding you. And this movement that you're in now, for all of humanity is in it, and that's why you're seeing the confrontations the way they are. Everyone wants their idea to be the most profound present. God's idea is present. It's in the tree. It's in the birds. It's in the ants. It's in the cockroach. It's in all living creatures. The presence of God is there. And if you talk to a dog, a cat, it doesn't matter what creature, and you acknowledge the God there, you will feel the acknowledgement back. And I'm not talking about a confrontative attitude. For the true God is not confrontative. The others are. God enjoys the life of all things. That's why He is present in the life of all things. And that's the clue within the Virgin Mother's speeches to pray for the innocents and those that have difficulties and those that need help. For this mission you're on, and you're all on a mission if you're listening to this, it's truly a rescue mission. If you know it or not, it doesn't matter. You're rescuing yourself first, because you can't rescue anyone else unless you've rescued yourself. And you don't need to talk much. You need the expansion of the heart chakra and recognizing the dignity within all beings, and their presence in your space as your presence, and their presence being the same. So there's not confusion in the reason why you're here. You were born for a reason. Your mother birthed you. You did not come out of the ground on your own. You did not come down from heaven on your own. You were sent, and you are received, and you were blessed in a manner with breath, for breath is the blessing. So my encouragement now is to understand the dignity of yourself and your spiritual mission. It's not necessary to lecture anyone. It's necessary to be present and understand divine force. And if you have difficulty remembering things, just remember the 4 archangels. Michael, which is in the south. Gabriel, which is in the west. Uriel, which is in the north. And Raphael, which is in the east. And in the conjunction of that force, you are in the middle. Michael sends you force from the south. Gabriel sends you force from the west. Uriel sends you force from the north. Raphael sends you force from the east. You're the conjunctive point, and the responsibility for that point is to acknowledging the blessings that you're receiving. So, in our manner, as we understand this necessity for prayer, you keep one's prayerfully in your thoughts. And for assistance, you offer the ability to hold divine space for them. Divine space. Divine space. We're all practicing to understand what divinity is. It does not mean mine is better than yours or yours is better than mine. We're all equal. We're all at the... I'm going to say this much. You're at the doorstep of the temple. You need to understand you're about to enter temple energy, which is the planet itself. Gaia. She's pleading entities, and in this manner of pleading, you are her children. The children are supposed to do something. The children are supposed to have responsibilities for the dignity of the planet itself and the dignity of the space and the entities around. And you need to hold that as your force and authority. So, in a gentle manner, I wish peace and blessings to each one. Daily and nightly. And please remember a prayer. I don't care which one, but understand the sincerity of the prayer must come from the heart, the dignity of self. And when you feel it, the real answer to the prayer, you're going to feel it in your back, what I call the grand chakra there. It'll be like a drum, which is what it is actually. And it's tapped on occasionally by those working with you to keep you aligned in a manner of dignity of self for the continuity of your consciousness, no matter where you are. And the cleaning portion of self is breath and water. Pray over your water. Be thankful for the breath. We are true.